So, Masters, um, coming back to the wisdom session. So, today we will be reading from the book, the Gita. In the last session, Masters, Krishna was telling about few important things like how do we identify whatever work we are doing, whether our action is right or wrong? How do we know that? So, for that, Krishna has beautifully explained like whenever we are performing some action or some work, we are doing it. If we are doing it without any desire for reward, I mean to say without any expectations or without any fear of the consequence, whether the work will be a success or a failure or what it is, without having any kind of such expectations and free of jealousy when we are doing that work. So, if we are doing in that kind of intention, in that kind of mode, then our action is right. And other important things he was more stressing was about the practice of self discipline in order to move, evolve better in our spiritual path. And the third thing, what we had learned is Krishna was telling like what is meant by true sacrifice. Means, see, true sacrifice does not mean we are offering the things like money, possessions, gold, or any physical things, but actually the offering of ourselves, that is pleasure, pain, desire, and anger. So, this is nothing but what Krishna is saying like sacrifice, and that is how we can reach there. So these were the few things which we like discussed in the last few sessions. So in today's session, Masters, Krishna is revealing where and how do we find him? What is the roadmap for finding him, and how do we get there? So let me start with this. I start reading the topic. So Arjuna was asking Krishna, you say you are absolute, but what does that absolute really mean? You say, I should kill the ignorance of I in myself, but I am not that I. Who am I? You say, I am foolish to think that I am the doer of my action, but if I am not the doer, who is doing it? Is it you? Do you think you should explain all this in a little more detail, Krishna? So, Arjuna is asking Krishna about who is that I. Krishna smiled and he is trying to answer it. Arjuna, but the answers are not easy to understand because you have never thought of the world this way. Think of the absolute as light, formless, invisible, untouchable, indestructible, but very much there, around you and in you. When there is light, the world comes into being. When there is no light, the world disappears. It is the same with me. If it wasn't for me, there would be nothing. Not you, not the world, not anything. Arjuna still looked doubtful. You think you are the doer of your actions, Arjuna. You think you are, for instance, that you are seeing the world, but if there was no light, would you be able to see it? Without light, without me, there would not even be a world to see. But people forget that they exist only because of me. They imagine that they exist and function and live their lives in a certain way purely because of their own actions. This is what I call the ignorance of the I. Now, an important thing what Arjuna was asking further was Arjuna is questioning Krishna that when it is time to go, Krishna, time for a man to leave this world, how can he make sure that his soul comes to you and to no other? For that, Krishna's answer is simply by making sure that he is thinking of me at the time of his departure. If he does that, he will come to me. Of that, there is no doubt. The soul goes to that which the mind has been thinking about it in its last moments. If a man has been thinking of a worldly things, into the world will his soul be reborn. But if a man has his mind focused on me, straight to me, will he come never to return to its worldly existence. Then Arjuna asked anxiously that, but how can one make sure that he is thinking of you at the moment of his departure? None of us know when the time will come. Krishna smiled. That's why I say to you, Arjuna, at all times remember me, meditate on me, the all seeing, the all knowing, the radiant sun beyond the darkness. Shut off your senses, still your thoughts, and focus on me and me alone at all times. Don't look so worried, Arjuna, for the man who has been conscious of me in his entire life, worshipping me, delighting in me, reflecting on me in every waking moment, offering his every action up to me as a sacrifice, thinking of me at the time of departure is not difficult. After all, he thinks of me all the time, and his ability to meditate on me, even in the midst of his other duties, has been perfected by long and disciplined practice. Nothing in the universe, Arjuna, escapes the constant cycles of birth and death. Just like the earth, the universe also has a day and night, each lasting 1,000 ages. At the dawn of each long day, all that was asleep comes alive in the light. Night falls and everything dissolves once again into the stillness of the dark. They have no choice. But beyond the constantly changing universe, beyond everything that takes birth, lives, and dies, over and over again is something that is never born and never dies, which is constant and unchanging. That is the absolute, Arjuna. That is where I live. And that is where the man who meditates on me in his last moments goes when he leaves his body. Never again will this yogi need to return to the sufferings of this human life. He is never reborn. He is forever free. So, in short, like Krishna is telling, like, one thing, important thing is to do meditation and to be mindfulness when we are in the wakeful state. And the other thing is to be self disciplined, although this journey is very long, but it needs a disciplined practice to do it over and over and over and over again. So this is what Krishna is revealing, masters, such a beautiful thing about him, and where what will be the journey when we are following, and where we reach, if whatever he is asking us to do, where will we reach once we leave our body. Yeah. Thank you, masters, for listening patiently. If you would like to share any of your thoughts or any experience relating to this, please unmute. Okay, thank you, masters. Thanks a lot. So let's meet in the next meditation session. Have a nice evening. Bye.